Hello. Uh, Today I want to talk about something that is really fascinating to me because I have a little bit of a scientist in me. I'm really interested about quantum physics. Most of it is beyond me, but just the basics, just the fact that I can find our similarities exist between what I call ancient wisdom, the wisdom of the lost continent of Lemuria, and then followed by Atlantis, both civilizations which have been lost to us. The remnants of their teachings appeared in both Egyptian and ancient Hindu thought, among other places. Egypt, and then the Greeks went to Egypt to get educated in the arts, the sciences, the wisdoms of the past. So today I'm talking about, not we, I'm talking about the fifth dimension. Because what got me onto this is always kind of progressive, These things are all, there's a method to my madness. These things are linked, at least to me. These things, I mean these sharings. I talked about being a three-dimensional mirror compared to a two-dimensional mirror. The mirror that we see hanging on the wall in our bathrooms is two-dimensional, right? Length and width. And it reflects back the image as our images, or whatever is in the scope, the domain of the mirror. It reflects what is projected onto it. So I talked about I realized that I'm a third-dimensional mirror. The third missing dimension of a two-dimension between third dimension is width or breadth. Now there's a play on words. Breath meaning width, or breath meaning breathing. So it connects it to this duality again, this duality of the most sophisticated, newest quantum physics and the wisdom of the ancients. There's the duality again. So, three-dimensional mirror projects what the person gazing at the mirror is projecting onto me as this three-dimensional mirror. What they see about me, how they read me, is really about themselves. They're not aware of this, but I am. So I let these projections, I take them for what they are. I consider the source, as I said. So I want to go into dimensions a little bit and talk about, set up the fifth dimension, give you the linear perspective, step by step. Dimension zero, or zero dimension, is a dot. And I love this because in the yin and yang symbol that's been so important, so pivotal to my evolution, to my journey, the yin and yang symbol. I just love it. I love the gym. But in the center is a dot. And that dot, now I know, represents the zero dimension. Now when you take two dots, you double it to each dimension. Now we're going to second dimension. We're going to first dimension, sorry. Zero, first dimension. We double Each dimension, the next one doubles the dots, doubles the points. So we have 1.0 in the yin and yang, in the center of the yin and yang. Origin, beginning, the singularity, 0 dimensions. And out of the 0 dimensions grow all dimensions. So 1 dimension is 2 dots. Draw a line that's a line. Put 2 dots and draw a line. That's the 2nd dimension. Now we double the 2, which is 4. So now we have 4 dots. Boom, 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 boom. And you join those dots together, you got the 2nd dimension. That's where we see a square. That's a geometric shape. We see a square. Okay, 4 dots. And you connect them. Connect the dots, like they say. Okay. Now let's go to 3-dimensional. We're adding. So 1st dimension has length. 2nd dimension has length and width. No. Length and height. 3rd dimensional combines width. Now 3rd dimensional is length, height, and width. So now we have 8 dots. Dot, 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 dot. And that becomes a 3D. 8 dots will become a 3D. Connect the dots and you got a 3D image, 3rd dimension. Now 4th dimension is 16 dots. Every dimension you have to double the dots. And then you remember, you connect them. So 16 dots, you have 3D twice. 3D twice. 4 dots and 4 dots is the 4th dimension. So you're adding to length, height, width, you're adding time. What the quantum physicists looked at as the space-time continuum. I love that. Don't understand it, but it resonates. Space and time. So that's the dimensions, the 3 dimensions, plus the 4th dimension is time, space-time continuum. And then we get to we double it yet again, and now we're talking about 32 dots. And remember, the dots only make sense so you have 4th dimension is 2 3 dimensions. Now you double that, so you have 4 3 dimensions is equal to the 5th dimension. And I mentioned this because the duality that I set this up with, the latest in quantum physics, the latest in studies, the latest in scientific understanding, is coming together with the ancient wisdom, because the ancient wisdom talked about Akashic records, and Akashic records are for each soul. There's the past, future, and present. To get to my number 3 again, past, present, and future is contained in the Akashic records. Every single event in every single individual soul that exists, that will exist, that has existed, the trilogy again, is recorded in these records. Now, quantum physics comes along and says, they propose this concept, mind-boggling concept of multiverses, multi-universes. So for every soul, again, that is, will be, and has been, there exists a universe that reflects every possible event, sequence, experience of each individual's life, whoever has been, is being, or will be. There's a separate universe that expresses all possibilities for each and every one of us. This is quantum physics. So imagine if you have desire, or you would rather have a different condition, a different circumstance. There's a parallel universe that exists that you can access. It's within your purview, it's within your ability to access this multiverse, this infinite possibilities for each and every one of us. Wrap your mind around that. Okay, there's a multiverse exists for every circumstance, every experience, every possibility that could be, that is being, or that will be, or even might be. It exists, there's a universe. So you can plug in and you can access that universe. So you don't like this one. You don't like this one. Learn how to access. It's available to you. Learn how to access the universe which you imagine would be perfect for you. Then you can explore it. And I think what you'll find is that the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence, right? Probably you're going to find, like I did, that the universe that I'm existing in, that I'm sharing, that I'm existing in right now, my reality, my Maya, my illusion, is not bad. So I don't really desire to be in any other multiverse. I'm completely 100% satisfied to sit here within myself in this universe, in this 5-dimensional expression of itself. I'm content. But if you're not, I'm just saying that you can learn to access this. And both ancient wisdom and the most up-to-date quantum theory, quantum physics, and string theory. There's another one. I've studied a little bit, but I like to look at it. I like to think I can understand, but my understanding is severely limited. But it's effective, and it's good enough for me, and it satisfies a curiosity that I have within myself, because there is a duality. I love dualities. There is a duality. Ancient wisdom and the most cutting-edge, recent quantum physics, scientific, string theory, wisdom, study. So now, tying back to yesterday, right now I'm in the process of looking for my alternative, because remember I told you there's always an alternative. Spiritual wisdom, of the ancients, spiritual wisdom, and scientific inquiry, scientific knowledge, scientific study. So that seems to be wisdom of the ancients, wisdom of the currents, wisdom of us right now. Our cumulative wisdoms led to this understanding of cosmic or quantum physics, the string theory, and people that have gotten to this inevitably find themselves coming back to look at consciousness. Wow, they see a link to consciousness. So maybe that's the option. I wasn't sure what the third option could be. I know there is one, but it came to me. Consciousness. Consciousness is the third. It's the Trinity. Ancient wisdom, current scientific knowledge and study, and then They both led to the same thing, consciousness. So see, we went full circle again. We went from ancient to present, and then the option is the future. When we learn, when we can express consciousness. So that in a fifth dimensional mirror, which I'm striving to be, I want to upgrade. I upgraded from 2-dimensional mirror to 3-dimensional mirror. There's my 3. Now I want to go to 5. I want to be a 5th dimensional mirror. And what does a 5th dimensional mirror reflect? It reflects consciousness. And that's unity. That's wholeness. That's completeness. That's sum total. So we have 0 dimension, which is 1 dot, 1 dimension, which is 2 dots, 3 dimension, which is 4 dots, 4 dimension, which is 8 dots. Remember, you got to connect the dots. 8 dots is 4th dimension, and 5th dimension is 32 dots. Connect the dots, and that is consciousness. So there's a circle, there's a sphere, there's a spiral that's ever going upwards. We're finding new abilities to experience, to reflect, to demonstrate, to teach, to share, to commune, to love with peace and compassion. And that is consciousness. So we go from 0 dimension to 5th dimension, from nothing to everything. That's another duality. So now I have to look real quick. Nothing and everything. How about something? See, there's the option. It's always available to you. Look for your options. Express your consciousness.